5-0. Thank you. So I'll entertain a motion to table item K. Councilman Cantu made a motion to approve, to table item K. Do I have a second? Seconded by Councilman Jimenez. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. 5-0. Okay. Moving on to item L. Consideration action to approve the contract for Phase 2 of the Floresville City Park, Texas Parks and Wildlife Grant.
Yes, Mayor, City Council, in your packet, and I do apologize for the lateness of it. I did email it out. You have a copy in front, and the attorney has one as well. So what has been taken here, as we talked about this earlier, is the second phase. So we have to do the design. It is a design build. We've done some preliminary things in reference to Phase 2. In discussions with the mayor, one of the things that she did talk about was liquidated damages. The first contract does not. This one does have liquidated damages. In the contract, it also states what the deadline is. It also states there will be an on-site manager, day-to-day operations to be as part of this contract.
Any questions from the council members?
Yes. Who would think this person be watching this project?
He pays for them, that they will be doing that.
You're not going to appoint somebody or anything like that. You know, hire, you know.
It's a paid position, and Heartland would pay for that position.
But it would be the person Heartland hires.
Yes.
So, hold on.
And with all the, you know, just getting the contract here and looking at some of the prices, they seem really outrageous. But I don't feel it'd be a good time to agree to something that we haven't got a chance to.
Well, the prices are actually set with you, the same budget that we did for providing to Texas Wildlife. So the budget has to follow those guidelines that we've already approved.
But with the bad work they've already done, how can we trust them to fulfill this next phase?
That is your choice.
Wouldn't it be?
That's your choice.
Wouldn't it be better to let them see how they finish the first phase?
There's a time factor. Now, we've been awarded the grant. I've done all the geological things that's required, so we had to go around and dig and see there's the Indian heads. We passed that portion. There's a public hearing portion that we had to do that we completed that. And so we have to start in reference to the time frame of when we awarded the grant. We have to select someone so that we can go forward because it is time for us to present a design.
Would it be wise to hire somebody that's already proven themselves not very, very good at what they're doing?
Okay, of course.
Hold on.
You know, could somebody else be hired to do this?
You can hire whoever you like.
No, I'm still asking you.
Oh, you're asking my recommendation?
Seeing how badly they've done on this
I
other
would think
project.
that there is some issues that we need to address,
I'm
but
confident.
okay, but that's a matter of opinion. Were you asking my opinion, or are you stating?
Well, I'm just asking your opinion.
Well, my opinion, I would recommend that we go forward with Heartland. The park has some issues, but it's going forward very well, and I think it's going to be a little difficult to have anybody else come behind and to finish the second phase. How we designed it back before you were on council was that it was going to be a 2 phase. We were hoping that we could get both of them. And we were able to get EDCs, the city borrowed the money, as well as the grant itself. He actually helped us at no cost to be able to write the grant and move forward. So yes, if you're asking my opinion, I would recommend Heartland to do the second phase.
Well, kind of my opinion. It's just
okay.
a lot of fluff put in here. Somebody gets a lot of money for not having the cost. That's
Okay.
my opinion.
Thank you, Councilman Jimenez.
Okay.
Microphone.
I see, you know, we've had some issues and everything, but I believe that Heartland's trying to do what needs to be done to comply with what we're asking of them and everything. We all had some issues with them. You know, I know we had big hog issues, so I mean, for 2 months you couldn't do anything. He had to keep on redoing things. But through everything, you know, he's managed to get where we want him to get, and he's never. I've never heard him say that. No, I'm not going to do this, or I'm not going to do that. So through everything, he's working with the city to get to where he needs to be, and I think we should just move forward with it and get everything done, and hold any more delays on it.
Mayor, if I may, Heartland is a unique company within itself. We have buy board, and we all are familiar with Texas buy board. They are approved by the state, which is why we can do the design build, and actually they are the only company on the list that's able to do what they do. And so I've checked with Texas Wildlife. They have no issues with using the design build, and actually Heartland has done several different of their projects that they've done for awarding for grants, and actually I think that really helped us to actually get the funding.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The only thing that I would like to see is an individual, a city employee, that will come to the council and give us a report. Bi-weekly, monthly, or something of that nature, but for the council not to pay, we cannot afford at this time, or somebody, hire them, to come and give us a report. But what I would like to see is somebody within the city accountable, somebody that will take responsibility and come and tell us this is what is going on. That is what I would like to see.
Well, that is something that I can arrange to have an employee.
And-
And say in the contract, Heartland will have someone on site
Right,
day to day.
right.
And then we can assign someone from our city staff that will actually be the direct contact, as well as myself, to meet
Who
with
would
them.
that be?
Don't know.
I mean,
I can come and come back to you, but you need to say that there is a contract. And then I can come back, see what city staff is to be able to do that. And I can make sure that we report that and report back to you. I have some individuals in mind, but I don't want to say at this moment.
But I would like to see that committee to come back again and like double assure the cities, the citizens and the community that it is going well. Because I wasn't satisfied with the end result, but there's a, I mean, there were some hiccups, but we can work around that.
And it's fixing them, that's the main thing.
But that is what I would like to see.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Councilman Jimenez and Councilman
Okay, one of the things, by getting an employee or something to go and look, check over whatever, I mean, they could see the progress or whatever, but like Mr. Ortiz said, it would be better with a committee instead of maybe an employee that doesn't have the knowledge of what he's looking at or what he's supposed to be looking for. You can't have an electrician be checking out mechanic work, or
We'll make sure.
we don't, if not having no knowledge at all of what's going on.
Well, I'll reach out to the committee, ask them each one to make a commitment of representative, have the meetings, and I'll assign some staff that's knowledgeable, and we can see what we can do to improve the goodwill, to make sure that the community's involved as we design the second phase.
Well, all I was going to say is that the park is already built. It was never given the priority it deserved. And the focus of all this is for us to bring visitors to our community so we can take advantage of the sales tax and hotel motel tax from restaurants and stores, and that's the true economic, that's
The big picture.
that's what a true economic development means. We need to get away from the philosophy of way of thinking of not moving Floresville forward. So by stopping projects and canceling events, this doesn't move us forward. I think that we need to move forward with the park. With this said, I'm going to move to approve the contract for phase 2.
Before I entertain that motion, I also want to say we have a commitment as City Council for the citizens of Floresville, and that's a lot of money that we put out on the table. We want to ensure that that money is being well spent, and the product that we're paying for is as quality efficient as possible. That's what we are doing. Well, I have a motion on the floor, but I also have citizens' comments. So at this time, I will even let any citizen who has a comment, yes.
My name is Joyce Banger. I totally agree with Mr. Johns on this issue. You know you have problems with this company. You know their work is not satisfactory. So why rush in to another contract that I think obviously we're not happy with? So if you delay the contract for maybe a month or so, would that not put pressure on them to fix the mess that they have now, instead of rewarding them and saying, okay, let's do another one? I think they keep promising and they're not fulfilling the promise. So, but if you say, okay, well, we're going to give you more money, it doesn't make any sense to go ahead with another contract. You know, I delay it a month or two, and maybe they'll get the notion that, hey, these people are not happy with me. Maybe I better do better work or finish what I've started. So I totally agree with Mr. Johns on not renewing this contract or issuing the new contract at this time.
Thank you. Any other citizens' comments? Yes, sir.
My name's Henry Mager. I manage million-dollar, multi-million-dollar projects all the time. It requires constant supervision. There has to be somebody there that is accountable and someone that they go to that makes things happen. So you need to have them, and you cannot have a general contractor that comes down here once a month and checks with his subcontractors to see if they're doing their jobs the way that they should be doing. You end up with things like you've come across right now. You've got poor workmanship in bricks, you've got poor workmanship in metal, you've got poor workmanship in the wood buildings and stuff themselves. It sounds like in the concrete. The wild hogs, not much you can do about that except what you've done with the fencing. You know, that's something that just happens. This other stuff is neglect, the way that I see it. It is your contractor, your general contractor that has not taken care of his business, that has not been here to make sure that his subs have done the right thing. And if you give it to him again, I've had this same thing happen to me, where I've been pressured to give a contract to someone who has not done a good job, basically for the same reason. We got to give it to them because they're doing the second. They were promised this, they were promised that, and we've got to have it here. That's not the way that it needs to work. You either put the pressure on them by not giving them the contract right now and saying, hey, or you don't give them the contract at all and you find somebody else. The next contractor that you have come in here that's going to do that work is going to be somebody that wants to do that work, and they're going to be somebody that knows that you are not going to put up with shoddy workmanship. So that's just my experience. That's what I've seen in the years that I've done. Basically, all my stuff's come from Floresville, where my experience lays. And you can't continue on with a bad, you got a bad seed, you grow a bad plant. Just the way it works. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Madam Mayor,
Can I
Hold on.
speak?
go ahead.
Yes, I'll let the floor go to Sean.
Sean Spencer with Heartland. And just for clarification, and a lot of things you said is right, I've had my project manager been on the job. I'm the general manager of the company. So my role is not day-to-day project management, or my role is to manage my company and manage my people who are on site managing the project. I think my monthly attendance at this project, at least 3 days a month, is abnormally high for a general manager of a company. So I don't want to get confused with that. I was the project manager and I was never here. My project managers were here. I as the general manager, attended to meet and to be on site at least once a month. So just wanted to clarify that. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Can I make one more comment?
Let him, I've got the floor to him, and then I'll let you come back to the podium.
Henrietta, would there be any delays if we were to table this until he would complete this punch list with the parks and wildlife?
Yes, they notified us that we need to move forward. I've done everything I can for the pre-application part, the geology, which took some weeks to do. The test results came back, they've met, I've registered, and so it is time for us to move forward so that we can say that we're moving forward with this project. But I need to have that's the next thing. You hired Ledford and Associates to be our assistant, and they emailed and say it's time for us to say who we're hiring for Heartland, or I'm sorry, who we're hiring to do phase 2 of this so that we can get the design. It's time for us to put the design in. I've already done the training, we had to go to Austin, but it's time. So 30 days would put us in jeopardy. 30 days will be behind, yes.
Couple of weeks.
What's 2 weeks and 1 month? You know, I think the city of Floresville, as a council person, that's one of the problems we have, not moving forward. Now, if the contractor or the general, Heartland, did not want to comply with what we're doing, you know, he is fixing everything. He realizes that some of the things that were done were misdone, and how is he, as a general manager, supposed to know what type of work these contractors from the city of Floresville are doing? You know, and I think that lies between here and there.
I have the floor back. Madam.
Hold on 1 second. Councilman Nixon, then back to Councilman Keys, and then David Jones.
They have in Texas, if we sign the contract, don't we have the right to put a stop order on it before they start if they don't complete something else?
Yes,
I think that's in the contract. Yes, it
the
is.
attorney said it's in the
It
contract.
is.
Councilman Ortiz?
Yeah.
I'll come back to you.
Go ahead, yes.
Councilman Johns?
By looking at this, we're due to, all of a sudden, we have to make a decision instantly. We just got the plans here, the cost of it here. We didn't even get a chance to look at it. For you to put this in front of us now with no preparation, no chance to read it, it's totally ridiculous. How can you make $1 million decision with not even paperwork, and you already see how this, if he did have a person there watching all this work get done, we could tell it was a failure to start with, because his project manager hadn't been reporting back to him very well. And the hogs didn't mess up the concrete work or the rock work or the construction of the buildings there. You know, hogs did come in, they didn't do damage to any of the other stuff in the dirt. But to get this all in, just let's go through with another $1 million deal, not till we have proper work done. This is, you know, not till the work is completed to, our satisfaction. Nobody will build a house and let a contractor build it halfway, everything, not up to par, not getting their money's worth. Right now, I feel we're not getting any of our money's worth. Just to give them another $1 million contract it's irresponsible. It's just not, things should be corrected first, let him prove himself, then get another look at this.
That's my question.
Councilman Ortiz, did you want to?
Yes. How many days or weeks would it take for Heartland to complete what needs to be completed? That's my question.
I think he left.
He doesn't. How can you give when he hasn't even seen what's wrong? He hasn't been out there.
He's
He
back.
hasn't looked at it.
He's back in here. Sean, we have another question directed to you.
How long would it take you to complete those, what do you call those? Punch lists.
What was that again?
How long would it take you to complete the punch list?
I mean, you know, to give a
A
long
year?
estimate, I would say.
A year, 3 months?
A month.
A month?
On the long side. I think it could be done shorter than that, but for an
How short?
acceptable answer. I mean, I will say a month. I think it could be done in a couple of weeks.
In a couple of weeks. Henrietta, would that have, would that ruin our odds with that grant?
They've notified us that we need to move forward because I've done all the preliminary work for this application for this grant. And so I need to be able to come up with a design to get to them, the timetable that we have. So I've done all the preliminary work I can possibly do. I need to move forward with phase 2.
I've got a question.
Yes.
Okay. Say we do give the contract to him, or we don't give the contract to him. But if we do give the contract to him, we could always, if he's doing a lousy job and we're not in agreement with it, we could stop the contract.
And that's a legal question, so we'll refer that over to the attorney.
If I can direct the council to page 9 of 11, section N, termination of the agreement. If for any reason the contractor shall fail to fulfill in a timely and proper manner its obligation under this agreement, the city shall thereupon have the right to terminate this agreement.
Then what would we be responsible?
On number 3, in that same section, it says, upon the city's termination pursuant to this section, the contractor shall immediately begin to take necessary steps to cease work and leave the job site. Contractor shall be entitled to payment of such amounts to compensate him for the services that he has performed.
The work done, that's the same.
Councilman Jimenez, did that answer your question?
Yes, it does.
Any other further questions?
We have a motion on the floor.
Yes, but we also have citizens' comments, and I have some questions. Councilman John first, and then I'll get back to you.
Sure. So basically what you're saying, he can start this, we have no guarantee of having our work completed on phase 1.
Yes,
So
we do.
that he starts phase 2. We get the same quality of work, and we pay for sorry work.
I haven't reviewed the first contract. I'm looking at this one in front of me.
It's still, you know, in other words, he'll say, I did this much work, this is what I want, I'm leaving, and we're stuck with halfway finished, you know, halfway finished work. So it's not, this contract leaves the city, you know, high and dry.
He hasn't done that. He hasn't let us know.
Hold on, one councilman at a time. Okay, Councilman Nissen, you had your hand up.
Do we have to go out and get an engineering and draft all this done, the architect work?
Heartland has an engineer on Hayes who's done the preliminary design. If you all elect to go to someone other than Heartland, then I start from ground zero and I have to bid out the process because he's a design build, I don't have to build it, and it takes a whole other avenue. And I need to let Texas Wildlife know what direction I'm going into, or what direction the city of Floresville is going.
And what's the fastest time they can start?
The fastest time that they can start,
Yeah.
probably.
On phase 2.
On phase 2.
But we could, I mean, we have some engineers.
Please come up to the microphone, we can't hear
Okay,
you.
sorry, yes, ma'am. We can start
On phase 2, the parts that are up in the upper part that was designed already, the engineering is complete on those parts already. So essentially, at contract, I can start to order materials, which primarily is the playground and the small restroom concession for football. Those orders can be placed immediately. So from that standpoint, work can start immediately on that. Most of the items in the lower park have to be engineered still. Like I say, we have developed a site plan, but it's an unengineered site plan. So but the thought process from a construction timeline is that we finish out the things that are already engineered at the top, and by the time we get done with those things, we move down. Engineering will be at some percentage where we can begin the lower area.
So when we approve it tonight,
Yes, sir.
does that mean you started and you have the 10 months that you'll have it completed?
That's great, yeah. Yes, sir. When we signed it and they filled in a contract date, there was some discussion, but that maybe the city attorney wasn't going to be here tonight, but I see a gentleman that's an attorney. So they were going to review that, they sign it. If it's tomorrow, the date of the contract is, and it's 10 months from the date that the contract was signed.
that's substantially completed, which is ready to use except for the punch list.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, that's correct.
And if you're not substantially approved 10 months, one day you start charging.
You start charging me
$250
$250 a day until the cows come home.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I do have a citizen's comment as well.
Yes. Henry Banker. Mr. Jimenez, there's nobody that would rather see Floresville move forward than me. My taxes are through the roof. I've got 4 houses in this town that I pay taxes on. I would love to see Floresville blossom and see my taxes go down and my streets fixed and have water wells and the town grow and blossom. But if there is an out with a contractor that is doing shoddy work, I would bet that there is an out with a contractor that you are using at this time with the state of Texas. If you went to the state of Texas and said, look, these guys have been doing this work and they've done shoddy work for us, we're up against the gun on this grant that you're giving us, we need 30 days or we need 60 days to look at this and decide if we want to stay with these people or if we want to go with a new contractor. It's worth asking, it's worth taking the time to find out and not just proceed. For an analogy, if you see something laying on the ground you don't want to step in, you stop where you're at. You don't take that next step. Sometimes you have to take a step backwards. I want the city to move forward. And I know you do. You've made that analogy several times tonight already. And I believe everybody in the council does, and most of the people in the city want to see the city grow. I've seen where we've missed out on some things through the years. Lived here probably almost 20 years now. It's a quaint town, it's a nice town, it's quiet, I like it that way, but we also need to grow. But you have to be cautious in your growth. It's just like every one of us, we're all looking to retire one of these days, and we have to be cautious with our money and take care of our money and keep our money someplace where it's growing and where it prospers us the best. And sometimes you just have to stop where you're at and don't take that next step if that next step is putting you in jeopardy. One comment that he said a while ago that the general contractor said that he has project managers. Where are his project managers? Why aren't his project managers here explaining this to you instead of him having to answer questions that he's not totally familiar with? I totally understand what he's at. I have a boss that I answer to, like this gentleman back here. Okay, he's not here all the time. He has people that are responsible, but where are they at? Why aren't they in here answering your questions? That's basically all I've got, but I think you really need to look at and see and check with the state, tell them what your problem is, see if there's a way, an avenue that you can slow this process down, 30 days, 60 days, 2 weeks, whatever it is, to give everybody a chance to kind of see if there is an avenue, a better avenue to go. It may be with the contractors you have right now. They know that you're not happy with them. They're probably going to do a better job this next time. Maybe, maybe not. But you've got to look at where you're at and be very cautious moving forward, because you're working with my money. Even with the state of Texas, you're working with my money. I buy a hunting license. I go to state, parks and wildlife, state parks. So
Thank you.
that's basically all I've got.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Councilman Jimenez.
I know we can't talk to them directly because they're citizens input, but, if you're a project manager and one of the employees made a mistake, you just don't stop your project because a new employee or someone that you just hired made a mistake. You correct it. And if you're able, when you don't correct it, or you don't try to correct it, then you've got a problem. But whenever you do correct it, or you try to correct it to get it to where it needs to be, then I don't see a problem with that. When you don't fix things, or try to fix things, or be negative about something, then that's when I say, well, you know what,